Moonstruck Nerds versus Poor Adaptation. We're bringing you guys another dog-eat-dog face-off Halo versus Moon Knight fight with the score to settle this time. We keep the rock rolling with a closer look at some trailers, and the Spirit of Vengeance Con airs our issue with the national treasure himself, Nicolas Cage. Let's get this unbearable weight of topics off the intro and start the show. From 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, in the heart of Uptown Whittier. Keep It Up with the Nerds presents issue 95. My name is Bryan.
Rene.
And Nick.
And welcome to the show.
Woo! Yeah!
Woo! It's Nicholas. I can't say that word in between.
Nicholas Effing Cage!
Yes!
That's right.
That's a lot of...
Oh, yeah!
I'm not gonna lie. That takes a lot of lung power. I was feeling it right here. I was feeling it in my lungs, and I was like, "Oh, you keep going.
You're good. I can keep doing this. I can keep going. I can keep going because I am
Nick Cage. Smooch is good."
Well, as you guys can tell,
yes.
we are pretty hyped up on the Cage himself.
Dude, best thing I saw all week.
That's so true.
It was the best thing I saw all week.
Oh my God!
We had such a good time watching that movie.
I will say right now, I had to work a lot to get that intro going because I was thinking of like references and stuff. How many references did you guys get?
At least 5.
At least 5?
Yeah.
You guys want me to tell you the references, or should we? Yeah.
Well, no, well, you know what, dude?
Or you guys know.
I mean, I have it right here.
Yeah, you just count the references. They're all in uppercase. Anyways, while Nick looks at that stuff, just a couple quick announcements before we start the issue, because we have plenty of things to talk about in this issue, and we want to take up 10 minutes of your time, discussing some things here and there. We'll get to that. But just a couple quick announcements, guys. KeepingUpWithTheNerds.com, as always, to go check out all the up-to-date information on things that get released, including, articles, new podcasts, Our Real Addiction, new shows, new videos that come up. We're almost at 100 subs. Guys, let's get there, because that 99 number, it looks ugly.
It's
so
taunting
ugly.
us.
It's taunting. It's like, hey
constantly.
guys, you guys are almost at 100. You're like, yeah, we know.
You guys almost don't suck.
Go. If you guys are interested in following us on YouTube, go subscribe at Keeping Up with the Nerds. We have a lot of stuff planned. Like we said, we're 5 issues away from our big 100. Meaning we're going to be kicking off year 2 pretty soon, in about a month, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. So keep an eye out, because our annual issue will be coming up pretty soon, and we got some surprises planned for you guys. Here at Undercity, guys, what is the big deal that's coming in May for comic book stores?
Free comic book day.
What? You mean to tell me that if I visit a comic book store like here, Undercity Comics in Uptown Whittier?
Only in Undercity. Yeah,
the only place. You mean to tell me in 12920?
Yep.
12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California,
in the
heart of Uptown Whittier, Undercity Comics. There's free comic book day,
and this is when we get swatted. It's the internet. You never give out your address. It's the internet.
Yeah, so we'll be having free comic book day. Some of you that don't know, doesn't mean all the comic books are free. I don't know why people think that.
I feel low.
What?
I feel low.
We could, if you want to, you can give us all like a little nudge.
Just a little nudge. Go for it. Go fix it. Yeah. Renee, go ahead and advertise.
Just a little,
just on the gaze?
Yeah. And so basically we'll have this room, we'll be acquainted of free comic books that you can choose. Up to 5 comic books you get the chance of choosing. 1 book per person. We're not doing multiples. That's just mean. There are people that would want multiples. They're just because there's exclusive comic books for that day that are going to be hinted.
What are you talking about? I do that all the time. I come in.
Don't encourage bad behavior.
I come in and then I go, Rene, all mine, and then I walk out with a box. That's
Nick.
You give them to the kids that you work with.
No, I don't.
I was trying to make it look good, but okay.
But
Dude, I go. They go like, "Have you seen that comic book?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's in my collection. Can I see it?"
no.
No.
Undercity also has some deals going around,
Yes,
right?
because it's also the anniversary of the store opening as well, too.
What?
You guys
Yes.
opened on Free Comic Book Day?
We opened around like the first week of May. So
Really?
we always do is we officially like I think we had a soft opening in April and then we officially like had a grand opening in May.
What's a soft opening?
It's like, you know, you can
Like soft serve?
Hey guys, come in. Yeah.
It's like an out of town.
It's ASMR, but opening.
So yeah. Hey,
You guys don't know that that Ocean's it's a Ocean's 13 quote where it's like, "Oh, what's a soft opening?" It's like an out of town preview.
I like that.
So before let's wrap up the
Yeah,
little
so
ad.
basically, so on that same day on Free Comic Book Day, we'll be having 50% off all of our comic books. That includes single issues, dollar comics, half off comics as well too, and then also trade paperbacks and mangas are going to be, I believe, will be 15 to 20% off.
Ooh.
They are not part of the 50% off because mangas are already pretty cheap to get. You know.
How dare you?
I was waiting for
what-
and then anything that's not a comic book, which is including statues, pop figures, action figures, little knickknacks, little blind
Wait,
boxes.
all the stuff in the case. Is that
Yeah.
also?
That's that will be 20% off.
What?
Yes,
20%?
20%.
Dude, I might get that Mando.
The $300 one?
Not the $300 one, the 120.
Oh.
Oh,
The
yeah,
one
there's
that
a
has Mando.
Hey, look,
the
you just heard it
Baby
here, guys. We have Undercity has a lot of great stuff. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up the ad pretty shortly, but there's a lot of great stuff to come check out.
So that will
Nick
be-
is already keeping an eye on it, so come and check out
That
the
will
store.
be May 7th when that comes out. It's May 7th. But if you guys want an easier way to remember, Free Comic Book Day always lands on the first Saturday of May.
Yes,
It's always the first Saturday. You're gonna present it.
he's
Oh,
gonna present one thing.
I'm already calling dibs. Look, it's a little Anakin.
little Annie.
It's Annie. Oh, she got her.
Why do you sound like he was a little Mexican?
I don't know what
Can
Jar
you
Jar
do
sounds
Jar
like.
Jar in like doing Mexican slang?
No, please don't. That's how we get canceled.
Ay, Annie.
¡Ay, mijo!
Annie, I need a burrito.
Hey, Annie, do you look at that? Yes, it's Annie!
Annie, the Emperor has a whip. Annie.
The Emperor has a chunkle. You should say that.
Oh, dude, that was a missed opportunity. We should have done that for Call Us to the Multiverse.
Oh,
maybe we
my
will.
God.
Maybe
that
that's.
would have killed. Oh,
I mean,
my
more
God.
people are watching and listening now, so
true.
if they're interested
Maybe-
in it, we can
We
bring that
could
show
resurrect
back.
that show.
In the comments, let me know if you
Yeah.
want an entire Tales from the Multiverse with a Gungan.
And if you don't know Call of the Multiverse, Bryan will have a link of our first episode in the
Yes.
description
Thanks,
down
yeah.
below.
It's in the description. It's not even on the page.
You just have to
not
click.
even that much
You have to
work.
copy and paste.
don't give me that. Copy and paste. Don't make it sound like you gotta like a lot.
All right, we got topics to
Oh,
move
no.
with because we do have an hour and a half show that we're
that's
trying to behave on time now.
C4.
Oh, excuse me.
The C4. Give me everything but it. Like, you need this. Yeah.
Do you want to yell C4 the way you just did?
And clip that. That's for later.
So, does anyone have any interesting stories before I move on to our main topics? Oh my God, children!
I don't want to spill it. That's what I just
Jesus Christ!
I know my luck. If I grab it fast, it's just gonna go over that.
Do we have to make another cut
no, that was
afterwards?
that was what I was aiming for. I wanted just to fly on Bryan.
Oh God! Any stories? I got one for you guys.
I got one for this week.
for this week. Let's keep it short because
Okay.
we got a topic.
So,
we got topics.
I will say this: upon recording, the Batman has now officially been released on
no
HBO
way!
Max.
Did
Yeah.
it really? Wow!
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you haven't watched it yet,
No, not yet.
Oh,
I
that
haven't
sucks.
certainly played it on loop while during working here at Undercity Comics.
and you certainly haven't been watching it, and probably put in 3/4 of the watch time.
Yeah.
Like the entire watch.
Yeah, I time it like, okay, if I play it during this time, I can fully get to the ending when my shift ends. Right when it says Matt Reeves,
Dude,
boom.
I was having a hard time because I started watching it,
Uh-huh.
and I started kind of watching it a little late, and I think it was like already like 9.
That's not a late night movie to watch.
Yeah, I started watching it at 9. I couldn't fall asleep. Like I was like, I turned it off because I was like, I actually have to go to bed. I have work in the morning.
So,
I'm gonna go to bed.
so
if
really,
I finish it, I'm so screwed for tomorrow.
so this happened today. Upon I'm not gonna name the customer because he's a pull list member, but I will say this. I played it and he's like, "Oh, you're watching the Batman." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm watching the Batman." He's like, "Oh, I like the fights in it." I'm like, "Cool." I'm like, "Is that it?" He goes, "Yeah, I didn't like the story, and then the characters."
The story didn't like you.
So let me hold on. So he's goes, "I just didn't, it just seemed like it was all gonna happen, and I just saw it all coming,
You saw that coming?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
for
so.
sure, for
Apparently,
sure. Yeah,
he
no,
said he said it wasn't an original story. And I'm like, okay, and
The Riddler flooding up.
yeah. So then he goes, but like I saw it coming, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. He goes, but then I didn't say what other movie did you think is better than, and then he's like, well, that's why I enjoyed Morbius. Because I didn't know the story.
That's where the conversation ends. That's
And he
hey,
goes,
we're done.
Wait,
That-
he enjoyed Morbius?
He
No,
liked
he
the
didn't.
story in
No, he
Morbius
didn't. No,
because
he didn't. He didn't.
because he didn't know what was going to happen. I'm like,
No,
yeah, I didn't know what was
he
going to happen
didn't.
too when a movie's trash. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen in it.
Listen, it's
Yeah,
like
so I woke up when the credits started, and I fell asleep when
Net-
the credits first started rolling,
Yeah.
and then that was it.
you know what the funny thing is? I actually don't remember Morbius.
I don't either. No.
I honestly, like, if you
I
were
mean,
to,
you
if you were to
can't-
go like, do you remember this? I would be like, no, I
No.
blocked it out.
I think I was just like on autopilot and just kind of just like looking at images.
We did it for
in front of me.
content, remember?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And we
then
came
he-
straight here and recorded,
Yeah.
didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we did it for content, and then all of a sudden Bryan wouldn't do content with us. We asked
Oh
him
my
to do
God,
one
stop
thing.
getting butthurt about this.
Because you keep bringing up
Dude,
content.
relax.
Oh, we
man.
didn't talk about what we thought about Sonic.
Sonic.
Really quick. Did you? Okay, if anything, did you
Sonic.
like Sonic 2?
Yeah, I freaking loved it.
Did you like the after credits?
Yes.
Yes.
It was great.
good.
Dude,
I
I thought it
think
was so-
Sonic. Here's the thing. So because I had to edit the podcast where you guys were talking about it, right?
Yes. Oh,
And
that's
so I was
right.
laughing
How
because
was that? Because you were trying. Did you watch it before or after record? After like
I was
editing?
watching it while editing. Oh no, I watched it. You're talking about the movie. I watched the movie before editing the podcast.
Oh, okay. that
Okay,
makes
cool.
sense.
yeah.
that's
So I'll say this. As a diehard actual Sonic fan, it kind of hurt when you kept trying to talk about Easter eggs, and I'm just like, you're not referencing certain Easter eggs that were super obvious, and it hurt me because I'm just like, in this conversation, I would have been like, yeah, Nick, that's great, but you're also missing this and this and that and all this other
You
stuff.
know what? If somebody would have
Well, apparently
the
that
movie.
was our weakest episode
and
to someone.
I'm not saying that somebody
Yeah.
said that it was our weakest episode.
Because I wasn't in it. Is that why?
No, it wasn't because you were in it. Nobody
Totally,
cares about you.
I wasn't in it, and technically it's a
it
weak
wasn't
episode.
a biased opinion at all.
Yeah.
It was a weak episode, and I wasn't in it. All right, so I'll just put the
Yeah, I
similarities
guess.
there. Anyways, Sonic 2. All right, I will say, and I love it because only a couple people that I've like seen
Yeah.
have mentioned the Easter egg when it's Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails running towards Eggman.
Yeah.
That's referencing Sonic
Sonic
Heroes.
Heroes.
Oh, good job.
You also told me not to spoil anything, you monster.
I would have watched the movie. Of course, I'm going to go watch the movie before editing the podcast. I'm not going to
As-
let that
you know
spoil
what?
it. There's
Hold-
no point.
As talent, what I was told by my producer was to not spoil.
I
and
love
to
how he
give
calls me
least-
his producer, but then he gives me all this crap and nonsense, and like it's like
Yeah,
you make my job
You're
doing
only-
a non-paying job here.
You're only my
tough.
producer when it suits me.
When-
When I need someone to blame.
Why don't you pick on your other boss?
He's not my.
We're co-bosses,
We're co-bosses, but
not
I don't
how it
have boss energy like you do.
so I'm like the bossy boss.
You're the bossy boss. I'm the yes man boss.
How does that work when I tell you what to do? That makes no sense.
Sonic 2 was great.
Yes.
It was great. It was
Yeah.
good. I enjoyed it.
It was good. I thoroughly liked it. I saw it on TikTok live.
You did not.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I can't. I mean, I can't mention the channel
Probably
that was
doesn't
doing
exist
it.
anymore.
Yeah, probably doesn't
I'm
exist.
actually currently following it still, and it's
It's still around?
it still does lives.
Dude, that's
I'm
Does it
surprised it
really?
hasn't been, huh?
Does it really?
Yeah.
Are they doing it for other movies?
Yes, they did one for Chicken Run. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
Chicken Run.
Yeah.
It's such
Really?
a random
Yeah,
movie.
and then I
a
think
random movie,
I
Dan.
think they did it to when it was like the Shrek anniversary as well too. That
Oh.
happened recently. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Cool.
You know?
Well, now I'm an Abe Stubbs member, so I'll probably be more frequently visiting theaters now.
I know.
Oh, I know. I sent you the entourage.
Yeah, I haven't accepted
invite.
me into an entourage thing. You didn't accept it. I accepted it, and then it said, "Oh, waiting for Nick's confirmation." I'm just like, cool.
Send me an invite.
Are
See
you?
if I could
Did
do
you
it.
get it?
Not yeah. If you can send me an invite.
You have to sign up first.
Oh, I have
and
to
then
sign
you-
up for
and
it?
then
Oh,
you
okay.
can do it.
Yeah, just get a new email, do the
Okay.
dollar promotion thing.
I
It'll be
was
fine.
thinking about that.
Just
too.
do it.
because I
That way
looked
we
at
can
it because
go.
I had it recently.
But it's 3 reoccurring payments afterwards, so you're
Okay.
bound to it. You can't cancel it.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
But I checked if I can get the 99 one, and it's I had it before like years ago.
get a new
So
Let's make a new email.
make a new email. Okay.
Not that we're encouraging bad behavior.
No.
I am.
All right,
All right, let's get into it.
So, quick little story before I move on
Yes.
my end. I went on the After Death podcast. That was
Oh,
fun. So
yeah,
shout out
That's
to
right.
them.
Did
Yeah.
How do they
Halo?
like Halo?
Well, according to Ernie, he said that he watched 7 minutes of it and stopped.
Good
I'm
for
just
him.
like, okay, good. That's great.
That's
I will say it's super funny. The way they format everything is weird because we recorded for 4 hours and they're going to pull an hour and a half. They're going to pull an hour and a
Will you
half
stop?
of that. Yeah, well, because I was trying to think of my wording. They're going to pull an hour and a half of a 4-hour recording session in terms of
wait.
content.
So they're gonna clip it together?
Yeah, and it works.
It does.
It works.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's interesting.
Oh, I mean,
Because they
if
said that
it's-
for episode 3, they recorded 3 hours worth of content, and they managed to squeeze about an hour of content out of it.
So an hour and a half of it is BS or what?
It's
like,
stuff that they just don't want to include in there. Like, if it's not funny to them, then they're not going to put it in there. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's interesting to see how it works.
I mean, I don't want to critique them, but was it? You said they recorded how many hours?
I think we recorded
3.
about 4 hours worth of that, but I would say maybe about an hour of that was just kind of like messing around. Just
Oh, I was
like,
gonna say, was it just
Yeah.
like how if we were like, let's say like
If
we
we
all
press
got,
play
yeah,
at 7.
as soon as we sat down, we would have
Exactly.
Okay, that's what I'm
So
saying. Okay.
they have the freedom and liberty to work on that stuff. No, we record for an hour and a half, and that's what we're putting up online.
Yes.
I'm not gonna spend like 3 hours editing.
that's what I was
Oh.
gonna say. You have to spend 3 hours listening to the podcast, then
Yeah.
going over it, and then going, well, what was funny,
Mhm.
and then clipping it, and then trying to find the right cuts. That's a lot of editing.
Is this?
It's a lot.
Is this Ernie?
Yes,
Okay.
Sneaky Savage.
So he sent us videos of him watching Moon Knight. On here.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Okay, so I need you to pull up YouTube Studios because when we do our Halo Moon Knight watch, which will be the next thing.
Yeah.
Or actually, should we talk about Nicolas Cage first since that's a big topic?
Yes.
Or should we do? Yeah, okay, we'll do that.
Yeah,
first.
because I feel like we'll drag on.
We'll do
to
Halo and Master Chief or Halo and Moon Knight watch at
Yeah,
the
that
end of the
works.
issue. But yeah, it was a fun podcast. I think they said that mid-May is when my episode's going to come out with them, so it'll be interesting. We drank, we got a little bit buzzed, so it was pretty good.
What did you
It's
guys
a good
talk about again?
Just
Halo,
stuff. We talked about just the random stuff. We talked about how I started podcasting, how we started as a group, just kind of things like that. And I was trying to teach them certain things about production as well. They hit me up with so many questions on like, how do you do this and how do you do that? They have such great equipment, but they don't know how to use it. Yeah, exactly. Which is, it's funny. It's like, Chris is very good with audio, so he understands that kind of stuff because that's not my forte. But in terms of like camera work and how to like render things and how to edit certain things, like that's where I was teaching him some stuff. So it was interesting. It was cool. It's
Okay.
a great little show. So yeah, it'll be up there mid-May. They'll announce it. Go follow them After Death Brand on Instagram.
After Death Brand, everyone.
Yeah, so that's great. Let's get this unbearable weight out of the way and talk about Nicolas Cage. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great show. Recommended, or great movie.
Great movie.
This was recommended by Nick because
Yeah,
I
he's-
think you mentioned it first, and
I
I was like,
mentioned it
"Oh
last
yeah."
week.
Yeah.
No,
mentioned
you mentioned this months ago.
Oh, I did,
privately
yeah.
away from the podcast.
Yeah. I mentioned it a while back to you guys, saying that I really wanted to see this.
You
Yeah,
said, "Oh, it's Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage." I'm just like, "What?"
yeah.
I
Does
mean,
that work?
I've seen the trailer for it. Like, I remember seeing the trailer early on, but I couldn't remember the title. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
The unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yeah, I couldn't
It's-
remember.
Such a
it.
weird title, isn't it?
It's a mouthful. It is
It's-
definitely
yeah.
a mouthful. I felt kind of like I was gonna watch an anime.
It technically kind of was like an anime.
Well, because anybody that's watched anime recently knows that like just names like titles have gotten out of control.
Yeah.
Like
That's
is
the
it
thing with movies, though,
like,
is
is
that
it-
if a title goes out of control, then it kind of seems a little bit off-putting. Like, think about everything, everywhere at the same time.
See, I never knew the same time part. I thought it was just everything everywhere.
No,
yeah,
it's,
that's what I always refer to.
Yeah,
it as.
that's what I.
well, because it's
thought
easier,
it
but
was.
it's everything everywhere at the
At
same
the same
time.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I didn't know until 2 days ago that was the full official title.
Exactly.
The only thing I was a little disappointed about, and I love the fact that the movie already knows it, is that there was not a lot of people in that theater.
No, it's just okay. So
It's a shame. It was a real shame that there. The audience in there was good though.
We had a good crowd.
It was a good crowd.
Yeah.
we had Nicolas Cage people,
Hold on,
which was good.
Didn't I tell you? Like when I went to go see it, like people were like, giving it a good showing, but that's because people that went were Nicolas Cage fans.
Yeah.
I will say we were the only 3 people that clapped at the end of the movie, and I had no shame. I started to clap. I was like, "Yeah, let's go!" It was great.
Dude, it was a great movie.
It
was fun.
There was a couple sitting next to me, and it was so funny to hear the girl's reaction because she was just kind of laughing. But when we were laughing harder at certain like references about Nicolas Cage, the boyfriend, I could hear the boyfriend go like, turn to her, and go, "See, I'm not the only one." And I'm like thinking, kind of thinking about the relationship in my head. I'm like, can you imagine the boyfriend just watching these terrible Nicolas Cage movies? She has to sit there and
just bear with him.
So it's great because okay, so I've had this. I'm going to start off by asking this because I have a story with my favorite Nicolas Cage movie.
Yeah,
What's
sure.
your guys' favorite Nicolas Cage movie?
Go for it. What's yours?
So my favorite Nicolas Cage movie, it's not my first Nicolas Cage movie that I've seen, but my favorite is Con Air.
Con Air. Okay.
Yeah, Con Air.
It's so hard. I mean, 30 years of talent and like just
Great,
so many
beautiful
so many
acting.
movies.
How do you
like,
expand out of hundreds of years?
You like that? You like it?
It's Paddington 2.
It's definitely Paddington.
It's Paddington 2.
It's Croods 2.
Just letting you guys know, if you guys want to watch the movie and everything else, we're gonna talk about it just a little bit.
Massive spoilers.
Massive spoilers.
Yeah.
Go watch the movie. It's a lot of fun. Before we get into it, but my favorite would have to be it's a tie between Face Off and The Rock.
So I'm gonna be.
Those are my favorite two.
I'm gonna be the weird one and say National Treasure.
No, Mandy loves National Treasure.
Really?
That's her favorite Nick Cage.
Honestly,
movie.
National Treasure one. It's like high. If anything, it'd be up there like within like the top 5.
So it's got 2 of
Yeah.
my favorite things. It's got treasure hunting and
Nicolas
America.
Cage. Oh,
And
Well,
America.
Nicolas Cage is a given, but treasure hunting in America. That's great.
the reason why I love The Rock is for one, Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage's like their chemistry is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so great where he's like, "Oh, well, I'm going to try my best." And he goes, "Try your best." Try as good.
It's like a British Nicolas Cage, honestly. Just like of how
So
he
great.
throws
It's
lines
so
at you.
great.
So I kind of want to watch National
Winners
Treasure
go
again.
home and F prom queen.
But-
My wife was the prom queen. Really?
I told you guys the story of how Andy got, or I had Andy watch National Treasure with me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how her reaction was just kind of like,
Meh.
It was good.
and I'm just like,
One of my exes, because she had never really watched Nicolas Cage, so I thought if I'm gonna go Nicolas Cage, I might as well, because she liked John Travolta because she liked Grease.
okay, sure.
So I was
That's
like,
a big leap. I mean, I love Grease, so I love John Travolta. Oh, let me show you Face Off.
like she was like, "What is this movie?"
You
and I'm
have-
like, "That is the premise of just a fever dream
Yeah.
of a movie."
Because I feel like the pitch for Face Off is like, we're going to have Nicolas Cage act like John Travolta, and we're going to have John Travolta act like Nicolas Cage. Make the movie.
Okay, but you know what's funny is that
Dude, it's
the
amazing.
unbearable weight of massive talent did that.
It did.
Yes.
It did that.
No,
to
the pitch
a
meeting was like,
T.
how do we make Nicolas Cage just Nicolas Cage in the movie?
That's all it is.
Yeah.
The basic way of describing this movie is it's a what do you call it? An espionage movie, espionage action movie starring Nick Cage as Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Like it's just a Nicolas Cage movie.
The thing is that it's because the movie is. It knows what it. Not only does it know what it is, but it's also calling out what the movie is itself.
Yeah.
Because throughout the movie, they're trying to write their own film. Pedro Pascal and also
it's
Nicolas
meta.
Cage, and it's this meta thing of they're talking about what is going to happen later on in this movie.
Yeah.
Of like we need a trailer moment, which I thought was hilarious
great.
because if you watch the trailer, one of the bigger moments is them shooting off of the edge, off the what was it, off the balcony, and I thought it was so funny when they were like, "We need a trailer moment," and then immediately it shoots, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's
perfect
hilarious."
background with the cloudy, gray, misty background, shots in the sky. It's perfect. Like
it's a perfect trailer moment. I was like, this movie knows exactly what it is and who it was meant for.
So there were a couple interviews that I was seeing where they were interviewing the actors and actresses in the movie, and it's funny because the girl that plays Addie, I forget her name, she was saying the daughter, yeah. So she was saying that this is a movie for people that love film because you're basically seeing the exaggeration portrayal of one of the greatest icons in Hollywood, Nicolas Cage. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Like
He's a legend.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
He might not have the best filmography in existence, but the fact that he's been in so many movies is respectable, right?
You know what? I would say he does have one of the best filmographies, just because if you could go through his filmography and you could find a movie you love.
Yeah.
If you were out of the 1,000 movies he's in, no, I'm being serious. You could pick one of them and go like, I like this. Nicolas Cage
this is one of my favorite movies. It probably has Nick Cage.
Yeah,
So-
he probably has Nick Cage.
On the streaming app of Tubi, I think it's Tubi or Tubby.
It's Tubi.
He has his own category.
Does he really?
It's called
Nick Cage?
Uncaged,
That's amazing.
and it's just
great.
all of his movies.
That's
done.
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, he has his own category now.
Okay, but
I did want after the movie I did want to go watch Guarding Tess because I hadn't seen it in forever.
Okay.
But unfortunately I had to go watch Halo, and so I didn't get, so I'm gonna try and see if I can watch it later.
I know.
So what's great about this movie is, besides the fact that it's starring Nicolas Cage, one of our favorite actors of all time, right?
Dude,
The tropes that it played that made, like, if you were a film buff, you know the tropes it's doing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
Oh,
one of
yeah.
my favorite tropes was as they're running away, they played it out so well where they're on LSD and like, I think those guys are watching us
Oh,
and they're
my
like all freaked
God.
out about it. So they get to a wall and they're trying to jump it, right? And Pedro Pascal's character just gets on his shoulders like, use me as a stool to get up the wall. Climbs up the wall.
He specifically says, "Use me as a human stool," and I was like, "What?"
Take my hand. I'm going to help you up there. I can't.
Okay. I have a question because last issue, I told you guys about the joke with Paddington 2. I didn't say Paddington 2, but did that ruin your experience?
No, because I think this movie is so... I think you could spoil certain things about it, but you'll still find enjoyment. Like the movie that I could resemble
Did
this
you
closely
remember
to.
that I had said it?
No.
When you were watching?
No.
Because I specifically mentioned that joke because it's one of my favorite jokes
No.
in the movie.
I don't remember it.
I don't remember it, honestly.
But I
No?
will say...
Yeah.
Okay, that's
you-
good.
Can you relate this movie to something? Because this is my first thought. This movie is very similar to something like The Disaster Artist.
No.
Why?
Because the disaster artist is... I feel like the disaster artist is following a lunatic who doesn't know he's a lunatic. And he's like going down this path of just chaos that led into success.
Yeah, because that's the best way to describe it. It's a person that truly believes what they're doing is like art
Is
Yes.
good.
is
It's
good,
good.
and
Yeah.
what they're putting out is good, and they keep just going down this hole, but not realizing it. At least with this movie, Nicolas Cage's character as himself sees that he is falling down a hole about himself.
A lot of the stuff, because that's the thing. So did you notice that he also came out in an interview and said that he's turned down movies to spend time with his family?
Yeah.
Yeah. and
Which
that's-
is great
that's
because in the movie it's set up. They talk about how he's in debt, how he owes a lot of money,
Yeah.
and how he's kind of just picking up roles of movies that
Just to
don't
pay the
really,
bills.
Just
Well,
to pay the bills.
that's
at
how
this
it
point.
was
It's
in
a
the-
job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it was in like the mid 2000s, where because he owed a lot of money in back taxes,
Yeah.
and so he had to like sell a lot of stuff. He sold a whole bunch of stuff. He also had an issue #1 of Superman that got stolen.
Oh yeah, Action Comics. Yeah.
Yeah, he had an action. He had a action comic #1
Yeah,
that got
he-
stolen.
He bought it in auction for like over $1 million,
Uh-huh.
and it got stolen.
So
Yeah.
the reason I compared
It
it
got found.
to
Somebody found it too.
the reason I compared it to The Disaster Artist is mainly because it does kind of feel like a bio. Like The Disaster Artist is it's an exaggeration of a biopic.
Yes.
Essentially, right? This kind of feels like a biopic, but not really. What I do feel this movie is a homage to Nicolas Cage, and Nicolas Cage is starring in.
I if anything, I would say that this is the greatest love letter to Nicolas Cage.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of people say that. It is.
This is a, like, I would definitely say that this is a love letter, or okay, I have to admit, if in like 15, 30 years, whatever, Nicolas Cage were to pass away, I would probably watch this movie first.
Don't
Like,
say that. It's empty.
That's why
say
I'm
that,
saying
dude.
30 years.
Don't say that. You freaked me out.
What
I'm
do
like,
you
dude.
mean? You know, people die.
Yeah,
right?
but not
You
Nick
sound the
Cage.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
He'll live forever.
No. What, if it
Outlive us all.
That was one of the great. That was, I'm just like, well, physically he's amazing. He'll probably outlive us all. But mentally, he's torn apart.
That was really great.
I think Pedro Pascal
Yeah.
and Nicolas Cage by far need to get paired up in more movies.
Let's
'Cause
talk- yeah.
they have a great chemistry.
Let's talk about Pedro Pascal in this movie, because he was just like the cherry to like help
Pedro Pascal has range.
of like
Dude,
this humor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he has so much range.
So I was telling Brian this
Can you
on the
flip
way
the
home.
screen over? So
I
I
was,
can see.
I was telling Brian this on the way home last night, that Pedro Pascal needs to be in more comedies, because he showed in this one, and then he was also in another movie called The Bubble on Netflix.
Yes.
And I didn't necessarily love the movie all around. It was funny because it's a Judd Apatow movie.
Yeah.
But Pedro Pascal had the best scenes and best lines in that.
I think that it's weird because Pedro Pascal is kind of not necessarily becoming like that figure of Nick Cage, but like kind of like that superstar thing where it's like, I honestly, I really love Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal right now could sell me a movie. If somebody were to like pitch me Bubble,
Yeah.
the reason I watched that movie was Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
He's
And-
becoming
and-
the icon. Like if you're gonna, if you don't care for a movie's like the subject
Yeah.
of a movie, the moment you see an actor's name on it, is like, that's definitely a movie. I'm gonna Leonardo DiCaprio. Like if
Yeah.
his name is tied to a movie, you're
I'm gonna watch
probably
it.
gonna go
I'm
watch it.
I do
Yeah.
not even need to see a trailer for that movie. I know I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, and as of right now, there's one actor that I'm kind of like, oh yeah, you know what? I'll watch anything that he's in, but I completely forgot.
So
Mine was also Gary Oldman.
oh yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
I'm also, whenever like he's in a movie, I'll be like,
Oh,
I'm
Tom
watching
Cruise.
but it's
I
interesting.
want to-
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom Cruise, obviously.
Yeah.
Come on.
We were
Come
talking
on.
about that right after the movie, because after this we had like a nice little adrenaline rush, and we were like, so like Top Gun.
So
So we're
buying
watching
tickets,
Top
right?
Gun.
Yeah.
We're watching Top Gun in 4D. We're
Oh,
watching it
yeah.
in 3D, real 3D. We're watching it in IMAX, in Dolby, and
we're going down the.
we're going standard, baby.
Yeah.
I feel like you are just going to abuse A-list. Like once you have it, you are just
You
gonna,
gave me a power. What do you want
you
me
are
to do?
just gonna abuse it to no end.
Where's
I'm
their
gonna
4D theaters for AMC?
It's over in Universal City Walk. Universal City
Oh, is
Walk.
that still there?
Yes.
City Walk still has
I haven't been to
4D.
Universal
That's
City
where I
Walk
took
in-
Andy to watch the Batman in that IMAX theater.
I think it's been like
and
over,
that IMAX theater is really nice.
I think for me it's been over a decade since I've been to Universal.
Well, then I guess you better
City
get
Walk.
A-list so we can go watch.
Cerritos
Okay.
also has one too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do think that Top Gun for 4D, that's gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
I-
that's
Best
true.
experience in my life.
If I don't go in for Top Gun 4D and they don't say please buckle in with a seatbelt, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
Godzilla, King of Monsters.
This thing is going to flip. Like, you ever been on X? Just
You ever felt 5 Gs?
the theater just takes off.
It just shoots out.
You see Tom Cruise piloting it.
Hey guys, welcome to Top Gun Maverick. I will be flying us. What?
You just see him on like a bunch of like, you just see him just sitting on top of a bunch of phone books.
Does he can't reach?
It's like Star Tours, but a theater experience.
It's like and then there's just phone books on like the pedals. Why is there phone books? Don't worry about those.
I'll tell you right now, Godzilla, King of Monsters was the best 4D cinematic
my
experience I've
God.
ever had. It was just so great. So
Did you see Godzilla vs Kong too?
In 4D?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I took Andy to go watch that like that, dude. It's so great.
Okay.
In 4D?
In 4D?
It was at Universal City Walk, right?
No, it was
Or-
it was 4D X. The one where the seats are shaking and like they throw wind at you.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Where's that
the
at?
monster spit in your face. You're like, ah, God.
Where's that at?
It's in LA Live.
It's not an AMC, huh?
No, it's not. It's Regal.
All right, we're gonna have to.
That's fine. It's
I don't-
$30
I
a
don't-
ticket.
I
It's,
don't
it's
know how I
worth
feel
the
about
experience.
It is $30 a ticket. I'm kind of down.
Oh no, but
It's
Regal,
worth-
they only serve Pepsi products.
Oh Jesus!
Can you suck it up to go watch Top Gun?
I need Coke.
I need Coke Zero.
I'll get you a baggie. Jesus.
That's just really that's funny. Though,
Rene
because-
going watch his pilot name is gonna be Coke.
Coke.
Okay, so besides that, so Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, going back to the cage.
We tangented. On
Yeah, we
got
gotta wrap this. We gotta wrap this topic up.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So for this, I would definitely recommend it. The movie. I don't want to spoil too much because this
No.
movie.
Knowing what we talked
Look,
about.
so
though.
someone posted on Twitter.
Because there's a lot. Because there is still a lot of stuff we haven't talked about. The movie,
Can I wrap
like
up?
the
Can I
twist, everything else?
Can I throw an idea out your way that might
This
simplify
is
what
like-
you're saying?
It's
not a
just-
wrap-up.
No, but I'm just gonna let you know that this is the third time you interrupted Nick.
He's interrupted me more times in more issues. All right? Maybe I'm a little hyped up. All right?
Renee, you're right. Shut your mouth. You let me speak.
See, all of a sudden I'm not producer anymore.
Go ahead.
Never been producer.
What?
Never been a producer right now. It's not.
It feels nice.
Feels nice. I'm
Are you gonna edit?
I don't want the responsibility. What the heck? All right, say your point. Go ahead.
I had no point. Go ahead.
I will say, I did see a tweet on Twitter
Yeah.
that someone said, for those that keep complaining about Hollywood never having original ideas, go watch these movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Northman and The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Great
And everything.
original ideas.
Which
Everything Everywhere at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's 3 movies that are just by far not a Marvel movie, not a Star Wars movie, not a franchise of any kind,
Yeah.
and that are original ideas. Go
Or not
watch
a
them.
reboot.
Yeah, or a reboot. Go watch them and actually show Hollywood. Yes, we want these movies.
They're great movies.
Well, because when you
we've
don't,
seen Unbearable Weight.
but the thing is
and
that when you
Everything
don't go see them and they don't see the box office numbers, they go, well, obviously it didn't work. Nobody wanted to go watch it.
Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim was the same way. No one went to go see that movie when that movie came out.
Yeah.
But
But
And it's a classic.
It's a cult classic.
But
yeah.
also,
Not a cult.
You could,
Not a cult classic.
yeah. Cults have like
No,
juice and
people
stuff.
love people love Scott Pilgrim. Like even people that don't watch movies,
But the
like,
thing
they'll
is
watch
that
it.
wouldn't you? I would say that Scott Pilgrim did follow a formula, though. It follows the superhero formula.
Follows a comic book formula.
Yeah, I would still call it a comic book movie.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas like Nicolas Cage and all these others, I have no idea where they're going when I'm watching them. I'm just enjoying the ride.
Mm-hmm.
When you watched Shang-Chi or when you watched Black Widow or anything else, you kind of know what the formula was. You know that there was going to be some kind of problem, dragged them into it, and
a little
then
bit
they
of
had
humor.
little bit of humor, little slapstick. and then-
Reference other characters.
yeah, referencing other characters and situations that's happened in the universe, and then you go into, there's some kind of like argument,
And then
they go-
after credits.
and then they go into the final battle and like
Yeah.
the big blockbuster battle. I enjoyed a very small ending of we have like a 4-car chase, and like there's a couple of crashes and there's a couple of different stuff, but
Yeah.
I mean, not
It
huge.
showed you. Well, it showed you that it didn't really need to do that. That's the thing. To have a satisfying ending.
The budget probably all went into location.
If only we had
Oh,
someone who had a computer to look this stuff
Do
up.
you want me to look up what the budget was?
Yes, please. Thank you. I would really appreciate
well, I thought
that.
we were gonna have to wrap this up.
Yeah,
But okay.
I'll just interrupt Halo because we have better things to talk about.
I really don't like your guys' attitude today. I did like that this movie followed a basic foundation, though.
Yeah.
Where it was just kind of like, here's the problem, here's the story we want, but we're just going to overlay it with just a bunch of stuff that we know you're going to like. Pedro Pascal giving us his range, Nicolas Cage being the Cage, and you have this entire, it's good layering, really great. Before we wrap up the topic, I do have a question for you guys. And I mentioned this question to you yesterday. I don't know if you thought about it, Rene. Would this movie work with any other actor?
Oh,
No.
Do you feel like this is specifically a type of movie that belongs to Nicolas Cage, or would you like to see another actor be himself in a movie like this?
that's what I'm thinking. I think there's like another actor that's like overacting all the time in movies.
You said
John Travolta?
Did you say John Travolta too?
I think
Yeah.
Travolta would probably because Travolta kind of does have that over.
He does overact.
He has that overacting, over exaggeration. I don't know. Like there's nobody else that really has that persona.
But then I think did I say Tom Cruise?
You said Tom Cruise. I think
Yeah, I think Tom Cruise would be a good alternative if they did another version like this, but make it basically action comedy.
An action. Okay.
I would love if Tom Cruise played Tom Cruise, but was confused.
In the Cruise.
No, but was confused as Nicholas as Hunt. Like he was confused as a secret agent and then gets thrown into it.
Yeah.
And then like that sounds funny.
Yeah, it does.
That sounds pretty
you're
fun.
Tom Cruise. You're the man that can do everything.
Yeah. Which
Gets-
also kept getting thrown in Nicolas Cage's
Yeah.
face.
That's what I
like all
like,
the
honestly.
featurettes of
Yeah.
oh well you can drive better than me.
What makes you say
What
that?
makes you say that? Well, all the behind the scenes in Gone in 60 Seconds.
You did all your driving stunts.
You did all your driving stunts.
And he's like,
right.
you can run fast better than me. Why? Because in National Treasure, he did all your stunts in National Treasure. And he's like,
I'm so glad that they mentioned National Treasure. I was afraid they didn't mention Ghost Rider.
that really?
That's a
You were the whole time in the
I
movie
know,
theater?
you kept saying Ghost Rider.
He was really on Ghost Rider. He's all, Rene, was there any mention of Ghost Rider yet? I'm like,
No.
Why do you care?
Because, I mean, if you're going to mention his range, you might as well do Ghost Rider, too.
I mean, I feel like Ghost Rider.
I feel like it's not as iconic. It's not as iconic.
It does show his overacting in that movie.
That's why.
But it's not one of the top tier Cage movies. I mean,
Was National Treasure a top tier Cage movie?
Yes.
It made billions, dude. It made
Everyone like that's a well liked movie. It's not even
I
because
wanna
he
see people
overacts in that
like,
movie.
You know
That's
what?
the thing.
I'm glad you said Mandy liked it because I
Those
feel
are
like
her
I've
favorite
mentioned
movies. She loves to watch those over.
because
and
like
over.
I feel like I've never met someone that actually liked like National Treasure. Like I said, I showed Andy and she was just like, it was okay, and I'm just like,
I'm just disappointed.
oh my god, dude.
Did you
like-
okay? So did Andy see your disappointment or of like?
Well, because at the end of every movie, I always ask her, I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you like it?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If I show her a movie and she doesn't like it, I kind of get offended a little bit. Like I showed her Super 8 and she's like, I didn't really like for it. I'm just like, oh my god, dude.
It's okay. I agree with her.
I've never sat down and watched Super 8.
I say Super 8 is better than Stranger Things. So.
The
Okay, I gotta watch that.
the budget was 30 mil.
Wow.
And how much of that was Nicolas Cage? 600,000? $1 million.
I feel like he had to get some good chunk out of that.
I'll only do this movie if
it's
I
just a
get
plot.
20 million.
Maybe that was disclosed. He could.
It's
they,
not. Yeah, I don't think they're going to disclose that
No.
anytime soon.
They
Great
probably
movie.
did give him a good amount.
Oh yeah, they
I would,
did.
I would imagine that.
$5 million.
I mean, not only that, but also it's a. Hey, we're gonna make fun of you for an entire.
But that's
for
the
an
thing is
hour-
that
for
he
a 2 hour.
accepted that.
He
So
knows
really
he knows he's a meme.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
aware.
yeah.
He's aware.
But
Did
people
you
love
did you
him.
notice the mouse pad?
Hmm.
That it was just Nicolas Cage faces when he was
Oh,
inside
yeah.
the security room.
Yeah.
It's just Nicolas Cage faces.
Let's not spoil this movie anymore. Go watch The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Watch
Great
it.
movie. It is 3 nerds approved.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful work of art.
Yeah, go watch it. It's amazing.
All right. I feel like we can leave Halo Watch and Moon Knight Watch towards the end.
That's
because
fine.
we can talk about the trailers that came out.
Oh, the
Yes,
last
we
two trailers.
So let's talk about Lightyear because Lightyear, I feel like there's not much to talk about.
we can honestly just kind of like just mention if we liked it or intrigued
I'm
by
interested.
it.
I'm definitely interested.
Yeah.
Finally.
I wasn't. No, I no point have I
mean,
ever said that I wasn't interested.
I
in
feel
Lightyear.
like-
I've been
Was
wanting
there
to
a
watch it.
genuine interest? I mean, we were all going to watch it.
It's a
Yeah.
Lightyear movie.
It's
a
a- it's-
standalone Buzz Lightyear
Go further
movie.
than that. It's a Disney movie. You're going to go watch it.
Yeah.
It's
Well, no,
all,
I
I mean,
mean,
it's a Pixar.
It's a
It's a
Pixar.
Pixar movie.
It's a Pixar
I'm gonna
movie
go watch it.
based off of a movie series that we've been watching since we were kids.
Yeah.
For the last 20 years.
Yeah. So to still, milk that is pretty interesting, and it makes me think if they're gonna do that with Woody, if this becomes a thing.
I think Because Buzz Lightyear you can do more with.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel
how,
like
how
Disney.
how do you make a Western that's Pixar?
No, you don't make it a serious Western.
No.
What you would do is it'd be interesting if Woody was like a toy that was commercialized and you go behind the scenes storytelling of the commercial that crafted Woody.
Do you really think that that's the route they would go?
No, but it would be
That's
interesting
too
to see.
creative for
That's
That's too
far.
creative.
No, because it's so like ethereal and it's so like, oh my gosh,
that's
like
too much
Woody.
for Disney and Pixar.
That's not gonna
Then
that's
suck
not
it
gonna-
up, do
that's
it
not-
anyways.
Dude, that's
It's
not gonna
good.
put kids in seats. That's not
That's
gonna put,
true.
That's
They
not
put
gonna
me in
but-
seats.
but
I'm an A-list member now.
But I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
let you know they don't care.
the thing is, I think what sells Lightyear is that it's a Pixar movie, but it also to have us or adults go in is the action part because it looks fun.
It
does.
does.
Yeah.
So this trailer, because this is what I said. So this trailer revealed more about the story
Yes.
than
It's
the
more of a plot
last two.
trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of sad that they did this because I was going to go see it regardless,
Yes,
right?
same here.
So to me, it's a shame because they finally revealed the plot that this is going
Mm-hmm.
towards. And I would have loved to go see this movie and have seen the twist that
Yeah, I would much rather.
it's Inception or
that's-
Interstellar.
Yeah, I would
I
much
said,
rather
yeah, it's
see
Interstellar.
if they didn't show the whole like time thing and just been like, oh yeah, he gets lost in space. So it's more of like a lost in
That's
space
what
kind of
but
vibe.
that is what I felt though. I felt like he was lost in space.
Yeah, and then
he ends up bumping into Zurg,
Mm-hmm.
and they're planning on attacking Star Command.
yes,
And then he has to kind of save the day.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I originally thought the plot was.
They could have done it that way. They could have marketed it that way. I thought, looking back now, yeah, it would have been better. But like I said, I'm still gonna go see this movie because I want to see the jokes and I want to see the action now.
Yeah.
That is also a pretty mature kind of thing to put in for a Pixar movie.
But a lot of these Pixar movies are heading in that mature route because look at Turning Red. Did you watch Turning Red?
I haven't yet.
Oh, it's a
Oh,
good
super
movie.
good.
Super good.
actually
People
really
that hate
good.
that movie, shut up.
I feel like they don't really understand how like the audience is growing now with Pixar. Like that's what I like Pixar movies is that they now are realizing that it started out when Pixar first came out with these movies like Toy Story and Bug's Life. It was mostly marketed to get their parents to go see this movie.
Yeah.
But now Pixar has been established for so long. They're like, okay, well, those kids are now parents now or older now to bring their kids or kids around their lives to see these movies as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to please both of them.
But you still have good Pixar films that are very kid appropriate.
Yeah.
Turning Red is still kid appropriate.
Very much kid appropriate.
But it's
yeah. Mm-hmm.
like it's there's that appeal to the adult because it's a very 90s-esque movie and they do reference a lot of those things.
Mm-hmm.
It is, female directed and it's, it deals
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of that stuff, but even as guys, we enjoyed it because
Yeah.
we understood the references that they were talking about.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
The humor was great too.
The humor was great.
Just so I can go on the
message was
opposite
great.
side of this, I hated it.
Well,
so we can-
you're wrong. Okay, so
You're
I don't know what to
canceled
tell you.
then. We were like,
What do you mean you hate it? I mean, your name's already plastered all over Twitter, Nick. I don't know how many times you want to get
Is it?
canceled. No.
I mean, I don't know what I did this week, but
Oh, the only time you can tell, dude.
just tell me.
The only time will tell. I mean, last week you were mixing things up
Listen,
and stuff and not, getting things right.
hey, yeah,
Dude.
that was not recorded, so we
For-
can't really mention what he said.
First off, the poop on your bed, that was your dog.
Stop.
That was Joey. I told you, it was Joey.
It was
You
Joey.
can't prove it. You
Can't take me
prove
to
that
court,
it was-
all right?
Yeah. Take me to court and prove me wrong.
Lightyear. Lightyear was great.
And that's,
Trailer was
it.
good.
And that's the joke of that. Had to slip
I-
that in.
I got it in. I got it in.
Thanks,
You know what?
guys.
Honestly, I should we make bets? I kind of
How that's going to turn out?
No. In general, just like I kind
Who's
of
going to poop in Brian's bed? I can do that.
no.
I'll be back.
We'll do. I'll tell you after.
Hey, Andy. I'm just going to go to the restroom.
I'll tell you after. 'Cause, for the sake of the event, I think it'd be funny if we had jokes that were like things that we had to bring up, but you had to bring it in smoothly.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Like you had to be able to bring that
I
joke
don't
in
like where
from
this
where
conversation's going.
I kind of like that. Well, yeah, we'll talk about it after.
we'll talk about it after,
yeah, I
'cause
kind of
that-
like
'cause
that
that-
idea. Like one of us is like,
everybody pulls from a topic.
Yeah,
and
but
you
someone
What
have
are you
has
guys
to
talking about?
If
We'll talk about it.
we'll talk about it after. It is a funny thing though. It's funny.
I do know what
It's
you
funny,
mean.
right?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
What?
Sure.
I'm sorry that you're not smart.
We literally have to save time for the podcast. That's why we can't really get
Do you
into
want me
it.
to really explain it?
No, okay. Can we talk about Thor: Love and Thunder?
Yes.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Finally get a teaser.
This. Okay, go ahead.
I think it's going to be interesting. Not
Minimize
only
that window, by the way.
it's going to be
bothering
interesting.
him.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how far the Guardians are in that movie. I think that they're only in it probably like for 15, 20
They
minutes.
are in the beginning, and they will be in the end. I'm calling that.
That's
now.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that because I feel that I do love the idea that Thor's first look, where he has the rocker jacket,
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's Peter Quill's outfit from the first one. That
They cut the sleeves off.
Yeah, he cut the
You know
sleeves
what?
off.
Yeah.
And he stole the shirt. Like he went
Yeah.
through Peter Quill's wardrobe,
Yeah.
and it's all stuff that
That's
doesn't.
just wearing.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a joke about Peter Quill being fat.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't fit in this anyway.
Yeah. If it's me, fine. But I will say this for the teaser: it was a good teaser, but it didn't sell me on to get super excited until
didn't
the
need to.
end. Yeah.
Yeah.
But because I wanted a more feel of the, I
Villain?
guess like the villain.
The
I wa-
vibe.
The vibe of like what's it gonna be, but it's just showing you it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be laughable and stuff. Where I feel like because it seems like what they're doing is that they're taking aspects from Original Sin of Thor feeling that he's not worthy anymore, that he can no longer take up the mantle as Thor, because that's how it is. In Original Sin, he feels he's no longer worthy of not only wielding Mjolnir, but also having the title of Thor, because Thor's a superhero. He's a hero. That's what he is, and he feels like he's not a hero anymore.
He's fallen off that
And
horse.
then bringing in Jane Foster and stuff, which I'm super excited about, because if that's the way they're going about it,
They are taking from the female Thor. I know from her comic book run is Jane Foster gets cancer, and then when she is in the Thor persona,
yes.
it subsides and she's a hero. And
which
as long as she's in that state, then she doesn't have cancer.
I also hope they show how Mjolnir is reformed.
They have to, because
Yeah.
you don't tease up a recrafted
Mjolnir.
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 Yeah.
And,
Meow meow.
Yeah, meow.
and just go like, yeah, we're not going to explain how it happens.
No, it does, because there's already been set photos, and you can see somebody where Mjolnir is, because Mjolnir is in New Asgard.
Yeah.
And New Asgard is kind of like this tourist attraction now.
Well, the fragments were left
The ho-
there.
and they're there inside of like a case.
Oh, I'm super excited now for this movie.
And
Like,
That's it. I got
yeah,
me.
because I was really worried about how they're gonna show that. If that's the case,
Yeah.
I'm down.
and it's supposed to be that, and then Jane Foster gets cancer. I'm assuming from the Infinity Stones, because the Infinity Stone was inside
from
of
the
her.
ether.
Because the ether was inside
That's
of
a
her.
good.
Because they even
okay.
said that the Infinity Stone
And
send
Nick's
off.
4 for 4 on
Yeah,
predictions,
no.
And
ladies and gentlemen.
Because the Infinity Stone, they even say give off radiation, which if you have it was already inside your body.
Look,
See, I love how you connect stuff like that, and it makes me just so. You know,
Look,
I'm like,
look,
I'm
I think
getting
it's- I
like
think cat's
like
out of
an
the bag.
internal boner. Just like, yes, that's
Nick-
how you
or
do
Rene.
it.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think we
that's-
got to let the cat out of the bag and let our listeners know Nick's actually not from our timeline. He's from a separate
Yeah,
timeline.
he's from a separate
He's actually
timeline.
the one writing all the stories
Yeah.
and then putting them on our timeline.
but
He's actually a being from
it's
the
a
year
great-
3152.
Yeah.
It's a great way of bringing everything together.
Honestly, I'm
and
telling you
fitting
right now,
all the
Nick,
Thor movies together.
if that's not gonna happen, I'm not gonna like the movie. It has to be that. Like,
If you look
because
at
it
the
fits
credits,
so well.
the
That
credits
fit-
at the
that fits-
bottom.
That fits really awesome,
Yeah.
right? Like that fits all the pieces kind of aligned together. I just don't know why Jane is there. I
Wait,
think
did you say it's confirmed that she has cancer?
yes.
Okay.
In the trailer, she's sitting in a hospital bed.
Okay.
so I guess that's one thing I'm also excited for. But I'm also excited for them when they bring in the God Butcher.
So
That's
that
Christian
brings
Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale's character.
that's what brings in some theories about how this is going to connect to things like Moon Knight, right? Because we did mention Moon Knight last issue that it's very god-esque,
Yeah.
like it's mentioning, and we're visually seeing true gods now, right? So keep in mind with Moon Knight basically finishing up in the next 2 weeks, right?
Should be yes.
In 2 weeks, right? We're getting Thor: Love and Thunder in about 2 months, 3 months, July.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Right?
get Doctor Strange first, then
Oh, that's right.
So we got Nordic gods, we have Egyptian gods, and they've already shown off Greek gods with Zeus.
Yes.
So there's a lot of gods in play. So it only makes sense that maybe in Moon Knight we finally probably get the God Butcher.
I feel that the beginning of the movie is Olympus. And it's the God Butcher,
yeah.
and it's the God Butcher showing up,
We get a
murdering,
glimpse of
murdering the Greek gods.
all of them.
Not all of
Kratos.
them.
maybe Zeus.
Well, it is Russell Crowe. It's Russell Crowe.
forgot about that.
So I don't know if
They could kill him off though.
because
They killed off Selma Hayek in Turtles.
No, yeah,
But they gave her good
but
screen
they
time.
gave her some great screen time. Like if you have Russell Crowe
But
as Zeus,
you guys
and
are also
you kill him in the
forgetting-
first 5 minutes of that movie.
This is Taika Waititi though directing.
Oh, I can totally see him.
Yeah.
No, I can see him doing it.
I mean, he had Matt Damon play Loki in a play.
For like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing. And he had also
I forgot that
Sam Neill.
Matt Damon
Sam
was
Neill.
there.
Sam Neill was Odin. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's known for hiring big actors, but for smaller roles.
That's
But
true.
So I don't know what all but it does feel like they spend more time in Olympus.
Okay.
They can't tease
they-
Olympus the way they did.
Ooh, maybe this is their way to introduce Hercules.
I'm assuming yes, because Hercules and Thor are very good friends.
And Hercules in the comic books, he's a Marvel character.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, and so that's why I'm
So
saying
is Conan.
There's Conan,
Conan's a Marvel character in the comic book universe.
like Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually is though.
Hey, Avengers!
I'm here to stop the butcher, and then you just like see Thor's head get chopped off.
Oy. I do want to bring up a point I did see on Twitter. Dude, Twitter is just oh my god, dude. Elon Musk probably needs to buy this app at this point and just kind of like clear things out because honestly,
I want the editing
the edit button-
mechanic. That's crap. That's bull crap. Like,
Look, whatever happens, this is what pissed me off at Twitter.
I
okay?
tweet too fast, do grammar error, and have to
I
delete
do
a whole tweet.
I tweet fast. Grammar error happened. Renee, Matt. No edit. So on Twitter,
Happens.
people were fighting about how there were people. Okay, so real people were arguing that.
No, they're not real people.
No, real people were arguing that quote unquote real people were pissed off that Jane Foster is taking the mantle of Thor. Here's the thing:
Who cares?
no actual person is going to legitimately argue that Jane Foster Thor is a bad thing for the MCU because she isn't. She might not have had a good run of her solo comics because that was ruined after a couple issues, but her introduction as Jane Foster Thor was really good, especially in the time that she was first introduced.
Yeah,
2014.
The fact that it's a character that was introduced in 2014 for 2 movies, in Thor the Dark World. Now we're bringing her back in the 4th Thor movie. She's missed out on a lot because she hasn't been around since the Avengers.
Yeah.
She's been out since the
Thor the Dark World.
Was Thor the Dark World
That was
after
her last one.
Was that after or before the
That was
Avengers?
before Avengers 2.
2, right? So
was before Age of Ultron.
Since Ultron, she hasn't been around.
No,
So that's a really long time.
it is.
A lot of heroes have come, a lot of heroes have gone. To then bring in a new Thor would be really great because you can then have the mighty Thor. Also, they go to Sakaar. I'm not sure why, but I'm hoping it's Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Well, because Beta Ray Bill was
He
on the monument.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Falcon looking.
No.
No, the
Who?
one that looks like a horse. Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Because they go to Sakaar. Him and
Actually,
Let me tell you, lady young.
him and Korg, because that's where Peter Quill drops them off at Sakaar. So I don't know why they get there. Why are
they're
you
there.
going to Sakaar?
So I have a post screenshot of the article about Natalie Portman and the comments, which is super hilarious.
What?
So the article says, Natalie Portman shows off impressive transformation into female Thor. Someone commented down below
Oh, I
this
saw this
article.
one, yeah.
Don't remember reading about a female Thor in Greek mythology.
Oh, that's right.
Someone then commented on that, said, That might be because Thor is from Norse mythology. And it's just so funny that how you
People
have
are dumb.
Yeah.
That's the thing
Yeah.
is that like because this is what we were talking about earlier this week, right? That there are people that argue certain things about these comic book movies don't actually read the comics, and so when you're making comments about like Jane Foster Thor, they're so inaccurate, and it just kind of feels like it's your opinion based. Which if you want to believe that, by all means, go for it. But people don't realize that the introduction of Jane Foster Thor made the comic books relevant again.
Yeah.
And I pointed this out to you that 2014 was midway through the New 52 comic book line, right? For DC. What's so relevant about the New 52? It legitimately organized the entire comic book run for the DC universe, right? So the DC universe was already hot on, like they were hot right now, right? They were hot. People were buying those comics left and right. No one was really paying attention to Marvel.
Yeah.
So the fact that you had a story, a comic book that no one was buying, Thor, right? Then revitalized it with Jane Foster and made her interesting is a huge score.
Mind you,
Because Thor at that point becomes Odin, doesn't he? He becomes
He basically has no confidence in becoming Thor.
So,
and Jane Foster picks up. Go for it. 'Cause
Sorry,
you better
yeah,
explain
because
it.
like in because it was all done by the same writer that was been writing Thor and then also writing Mighty Thor, which is features female Thor. It was Jason Aaron. He wrote Thor beginning part. What made the run really good for one arc was the God Butcher arc that he did, which was a reference of an old Marvel / Thor character and making him the villain and making him very relevant, making him the God Butcher at that point.
Which also, I know that in the trailer they have like almost an art for art of the what's the beast called? The one that was just like, it tackles black holes.
Yeah. So, was it the Black Forest or something like that? The Dark Forest, I think it was called. And so, but the thing was that one arc did really well, but then after that, it wasn't doing well at all. Comic book sales were declining. Not a lot of people were liking Thor because the Thor in the comic books wasn't coherent to how the movie was, and it wasn't sticking. So Jason Aaron decided to let's do Mighty Thor, which is basically Jane Foster Thor. First issue, we didn't even know who the female Thor was until I think it was either issue 2 or issue 3 where they finally revealed it was Jane Foster, and that went into 5th, 7th printing, and it was still selling out. That like people were just reading it, but the thing is that people were loving it. They were just like, this is really interesting, and then revealing that she has cancer on top of that as well too. And then by that time, Thor wasn't going by Thor; he was going by Odin's son because he's no longer Thor. So he is just Odin's son at that point as well too. So that's what's really interesting, that people think that it's not going to sell well, it's not going to be a good movie because we're changing the main character from male to female. That's not the case.
It's not. And to add on to that point as well, the original Sin came out 2 years afterwards, right? 2016.
That's
right around that time. So
no, it came out so first it was Original Sin, then it was Mighty Thor, which was the run. And Jason Aaron did admit that he did say that he only did Original Sin, the story arc, to bring in Mighty Thor.
So then we had Secret Wars.
Yes.
And Secret Wars was basically the just mosh pit of every single Marvel universe and every single Marvel character, putting them in one world called Battle World. And then by the end of Secret Wars, you had a few remaining surviving characters, which included Jane Foster Thor.
And then she stepped down because she technically died by like
I'm assuming.
No, she sacrificed herself to destroy, I guess it was either to destroy Miranor or to kind of like reset everything. I don't know because I wasn't reading it. She like flew straight into the sun and in the middle of it got burned up and stuff like that. But then obviously, survived comic books because
no one dies in comic books.
And so now she is a Valkyrie.
And so it's cancer anyways.
So now
it's because cancer saves you from sun. That's what it does.
The Dumas protect you.
Yeah.
It's a Duma.
So, but now she's back. She's alive and she's cancer free. But she is no longer Thor. She is a Valkyrie. As of right now.
Okay.
But they are going to bring her back as Mighty Thor in the next couple of months.
For this, the only thing I really didn't want to see Natalie Portman's Thor yet. That was the only thing I was kind of disappointed about the trailer is that they showed you what she looked like. Because if they would have just shown her hand go up, and then Mjolnir comes to her, and then you see the electricity coming off of it, and then right as the camera looks like it's about to pan down, it cuts.
You see the wings of the helmet.
Like you see the wings of the
I would
helmet.
have preferred to see the back of her head and then grab it.
That would have been cool
it.
too.
Yeah.
And then that would have been it. And then that way you could have been like, was that her? Like, that's sick.
So Taika did tweet out that the trailer, because people were saying, a lot of people were complaining to Taika, saying that this was not enough, that they wanted to know more because they didn't.
Teaser.
It's a teaser.
Yeah.
So Taika did say, because he did tweet out, there is another trailer coming out in the near future. I'm going to probably say when Doctor Strange comes
I'm
out.
assuming it's coming out with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so it'll probably be then, and I think we'll get more information out of it. But for the time being,
do you think it's coming at the end of Doctor Strange? 'Cause
no, they're not going to pull
I don't want another
I
Spider-Man.
think it's coming out in front of it.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it comes out in front of it,
Yeah.
and then we get Doctor Strange gets its
you can't
own-
use that. You can't use a mid and end credit scene or a mid or end credit scene in Doctor Strange, because I think Doctor Strange is going to have way too much information to
Yeah,
it's gonna
and
be
let
hard.
it go to waste like
It's gonna be
that.
hard when Doctor Strange is dead.
I feel like when they're gonna do is that because Doctor Strange is like Avengers level, same long as like No Way Home, where it's we're gonna see the aftermath. Obviously, they're gonna hint at what the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is gonna be after this movie comes out.
Yeah,
and hinting at future films, obviously. But I think I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Or maybe we'll see X-Men at the end of it or something like that.
Logan's claws come out.
Yeah, or Scarlet Witch saying more mutants.
Or
Because she said no more mutants in House of M.
yeah, like let there be mutants
Yeah.
would be like a nice reversal.
Mm-hmm.
Because so that'd be kind of cool.
We got to save our Doctor Strange talk before we go watch the movie, so I think next issue we'll probably talk Doctor Strange.
I will say this about Thor and Love and Thunder. I love the poster more. This is my favorite Marvel poster because it breaks out of that whole center everything in the middle of the poster.
It's the same thing that they did with like what was it, The Force Awakens?
Star Wars, all the Star
All
Disney.
the Star Wars,
It's Disney doing
most
that.
most of the Disney posters.
This is
hate that
a
style.
very 80s rock
Yeah.
like
it
poster.
it does
It's
look
good.
like an 80s rock band.
Yeah, it's good. We excited for it? Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, it
Cool.
looks good.
I'm definitely hyped.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Taika Waititi also.
Can't wait for Nick to be right.
Again.
Again.
Dude, it's gonna be great.
But I'll be happy.
Dude,
I
it's
can
gonna be
ruin your
great.
happiness.
Why?
We're moving on to the next topic.
What's that?
Buzz Lightyear?
Halo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Sorry.
Wait. Are we? So we're talking about Halo?
Let's get it over with.
Are we talking about Halo?
Yeah, we're talking about Halo.
Well, I was prepped today. I can't do this another week without a beer.
I might have to take a swig of that.
All right,
real.
here's
I
our
need a
cover.
little, I need a little alcohol with this one.
Here's our take on Halo. Ready?
Tall can.
This episode 5 had the best 20 seconds at the beginning and the best 10 minutes of the entire series.
Can I take a sip? Or a gulp?
That was it. That's it. If all honesty, if we're gonna talk about Halo, that's it. Do you want me to? No, I'm good. I'm good for now.
You sure?
That-
I mean, it's a Michelada. God damn, that's spicy.
Oh my God! It was brewed in California.
What hurts more, the watch of Halo or?
Oh man, Halo, yeah.
Listen, if I'm gonna hurt, I'm gonna do it to myself.
All right, so I'm gonna try
Oprah
to.
calls that empowerment.
And Oprah's queen.
All right, I'm gonna try to give
pretty
a
good.
2-minute synopsis of episode 5. Let me see if I can
2
remember.
minutes?
2 minutes. I'm gonna see if I can try to explain it. Ready?
As long as you go, I'm gonna drink.
Okay, so from what I can remember, okay, they're trying to excavate the artifact from the location that they found it in. Who's the female Spartan that?
Do not ask me about character names in this show.
Is it?
It's Kaya.
It's Kai.
it's Kaya.
It's Kai.
Okay.
Kai. So
It's
Kai
No, it's
gets.
Kaya.
Is it Kai? Look it up.
It's KIA.
Okay, whatever her name is. Okay, she gets blown out with the best.
Help me out here. Jesus.
She gets blown out with the best possible insult ever when. Because essentially they're trying to excavate the artifact. They have the Spartans there. They're trying to figure out what's so relevant about this artifact and yada, 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 right? Honestly, that's the premise of it because...
It's Halo. It's Halo. It's Master Chief going like...
it's just him touching the artifact over and over
I
again.
need to find something out.
Now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah. Because I just explained it in like 30 seconds.
Yes, that's this episode.
That's it.
Yeah.
They're excavating the artifact. And then giant fight happens for 10 minutes, which is really great. I think best part, the entire episode.
I know how to play the game.
I think it's time to pull out your secondary, Chief.
So upset. I was like, I'm not going to lie. I was like, as soon as she goes, time to pull out your secondary, and he's like, I know how to play the game. I was like, oh, F you.
Okay. I should feel like because
come on.
I was telling Bryan this. We actually have a few listeners that don't watch the show but tune into our Halo watch.
So I'm going to tell you guys real quick to our listeners that pay attention to this.
Jesus.
Okay, the best line that was said was when Kai and Venick were having a conversation, right? And Kai's trying to explain to Venick why is it that he does certain things, right? And Venick's answer to it all is like, "Well, it's because I don't wonder why." And then she asks, "Do you ever wonder why? You don't wonder why?" And he said, "That gun grease must be seeping through your head." John and I died. He was so excited to get to that part of that episode.
Yeah.
I didn't know. The moment that happened, I was on the floor. I was like, dude, how do you burn someone that bad?
That's not enough.
Am I drunk or did that just not make sense? Jesus.
Do you ever wonder why you don't?
But did you ever wonder why?
You wonder why?
You don't wonder why?
Dude, I have never been so enraged before going to bed. I had to literally watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine after.
That's why I watch it.
Calm me
I
down.
watch this show in the morning just to get it over with.
I was like, I can't.
It's the
go to
worst.
sleep like
but
this.
according to Insider or whatever that article
Oh,
is.
TV Guide.
TV Guide. Halo is heaven.
I gotta send you the video so you can just put it. The pic so you can
hold
just put
on.
it what I said.
I have it. I
Hold on.
cropped it out.
You gotta admit that was a great joke. That was a great joke. When
What?
Because he put the Halo is heaven TV Guide, and I was like, dang, I didn't know things were so bad at TV Guide.
TV Guide. They really took in that huge bribe.
No, it's just like, damn, TV
dude.
Guide must be real bad, dude,
IGN
if this is heaven.
IGN finally posted something that I'm just like, it took you 5 episodes to realize this is garbage, where they're like, Halo 5 had a great action sequence, but still failed to answer some questions that it couldn't, answer since the first episode. I'm like,
You guys gave it this much time?
It took you 5 episodes? It took you 5 freaking hours to realize that this was total
No,
garbage?
because you know why? Because it did the opposite of the Batman.
What?
So it's doing no. It's doing the opposite of the Batman. So when the Batman came out, IGN,
Why would you put the Batman and Halo in the same sentence?
because one's good, one's bad. When Batman first comes out, you have all these like really good reviews, and then you have certain bad reviews. And those bad reviews flood to the top because they're going against the grain. Then you have Halo, which has...
Hold on. We might have to... stop editing right now. Yeah, it stopped editing. I mean, stop. Okay, yeah.
Stop recording.
I need a clapper. We're doing a cut, guys!
Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey!
We had a small camera difficulty that Bryan wouldn't let go, so I was trying to just kind of smooth into it. But editor Bryan had to do it. Anyway, so when you had the Batman had a number of
You make
really
my
bad.
life difficult.
Oh, I know, I do. It's my life.
We chose to have him as a regular on the podcast.
I have to deal with Halo. Now I'm dealing with your BS.
My goal in life is to make you commit suicide.
Oh my God,
13
dude.
reasons why. All of them are just Nick.
14 Halo.
You know what? That is a goal in life, to be name checked in a suicide letter.
Stop, dude. Oh my God. Can we?
to find an
You're
audio
just
tape.
ticking off boxes to get canceled on Twitter, dude. It's over for you.
Good thing I'm not on Twitter.
It's a goal. I just. God damn.
Anyway, so when the Batman came out, there was a bunch of really positive. Everybody was really positive. So then, when people were negative, those reviews went to the very top. When Halo comes out, there was a lot of negativity. So anything that was positive, that was flooding to the top. So yeah, so
That was a good sound effect.
So it's all going to the very top of all those positive reviews. The problem is that I can only write as positive as possible for 5 episodes and then go, dang, there's nothing here. Like I'm really struggling to find stuff that's like good.
And then to be like, hold on, to even say by this time the episode airs, episode 5, to say it's gonna get better, guys. You guys we're halfway in the series now.
You're more than halfway. It's
Yeah.
9 episodes.
You're
This is episode 5.
5 episodes into the
Yeah.
series,
You have
and
4
Quan is
left.
still not relevant.
That's the thing.
She is such an unredeemable character.
That-
It's disgusting.
She's so irredeemable that she was left to 5 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
That's the
She
thing.
only
Out of a
has like
40-minute episode.
I have a 40. No, it's a 38-minute episode.
39.54.
So in a story aspect,
I'm looking it up.
her character should be already trying to evolve by now, or getting
Yeah.
to where she needs to be.
And you want to know what's sad about it? Is that the fact that you're hoping or wanting her
Yeah.
to evolve, and it's 5 episodes in, it's so unredeemable.
Yeah.
There is no point for her to continue.
And that-
like, there's
yeah.
nothing. She legitimately was the character to say, you know what? I'm going to gaslight you. You saved me from the Covenant. I could still say that it was all faked and it was on
Yeah.
you. Oh, Master Chief chooses to save her. Right? Okay, then she goes and is in a nice planet, maybe not nice, but like in safe.
I think it was a space station.
It was a space station, right? Yeah, whatever it is. But she was not in danger. What does she choose to do? Take me back so I can start the rebellion again. Goes
She's a
back.
very problematic character and toxic character. as well.
Toxic to the point that it's so sad.
So you remember on the way to the movies, you said that this is showing how it's really bad because I don't know if you remember you saying this. Remember you said that if this still continues on and she gets what she wants, it's really bad in a way of
She
the way
can't
she's
get
doing
what
it.
she wants.
Yeah,
She cannot.
because it's promoting a way of like if you act like this, you're gonna get
Yes.
what you want.
Because she legitimately put
She's acting like a spoiled
tens.
child.
Yeah, she's acting like a spoiled child. I'm gonna start the rebellion again. Gets tens of hundreds of people injured for a little ceremony that they were throwing for her father.
That wasn't even
Let me
tens
go-
of hundreds. That was literally like
Just a group.
45 people.
But let's assume it's hundreds because they couldn't afford out of the $10 million per episode. They probably couldn't afford to get more people, whatever, right? Then the other thing is they say, okay, you know what? Let's go to the aunt because the aunt has the money and she's the one that is leading the rebellion since my father died. She ends up dying. That's not enough for her still. Guess what? Now she's left in the middle of a desert while this guy that is trying to protect her, right? Locks her up and says, don't move. What does she freaking do?
because I know you're gonna run on me. I'm gonna
She
chain
acts
you
like
to
a freaking 5-year-old.
I thought it was funny because I was watching a video and some guy was just like, why would she hide in the sand?
Like a turtle.
Like no, but he was like he drove up.
Yeah.
What if he didn't know?
Yeah, it's not a hovercraft of any sort.
Like it
There's
had wheels.
Yeah.
Like it had wheels. Like
Wait,
what
it
if
was
he
a
drove-
rock there?
Like, like what about if instead of him walking
Yo,
down
that bump
there,
is twitching.
like what about if instead of him walking down there, he was just like, well, all-terrain vehicle, let's go, and then just
You know, it's just stressful
oh,
dealing
man.
with this teenager that promised me a bunch of money and she never paid. I'm just gonna go off-roading for a bit. I got this new car. It's fine. Whatever.
It wasn't even off-roading. She literally only made it like 10 feet. She didn't make it very far.
And then you made a good point of what she had to use against him.
Yeah, and then also, where did she get a taser?
She doesn't. That doesn't matter. Point being, this
yes, it
episode.
does.
No, it doesn't matter.
This is Halo, it
Yo, why
doesn't matter.
are you making? Trying to make sense of this? This makes no sense.
What is it, a
You want to
prison-
make sense of
what is it,
something?
in a
Let me
prison
just
wallet?
finish this last point before I move on to something that actually makes sense. The battle scene, the fight, I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. Look, it's the best 10 minutes of the entire series so far.
I've seen better.
I see grunts. That's all that matters to me because I love those little dudes because they go like, and they're running around with grenades when they feel like they got nothing left. It's great. Jackals, they look like jackals. I got no problem with that. The guy get blown out by the needler. That was cool too.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's pretty sick. CGI, I get it. But you know what? You know what, Nick? No. Let me enjoy the 10-minute fight scene.
This
It was
should have
good.
been episode 1. No. I'm being serious. If this was episode 1, would you be as upset with the series?
No.
If this was, because it actually kind of starts like the beginning of a Halo game, of them trying to do something, them then failing, the Covenant succeeding, and then right before Chief is able to stop the Covenant, a boss shows up and then whoops Chief's butt and then portals away, and then he's like your antagonist for the rest of the season.
He's a threat.
He's the threat that's like kind of a pain in your side. Then you just kind of go through battling the Covenant. That sounds like a Halo game, right?
I will say
That's as close as you get.
before we move on to Moon Knight and more enjoyable topics, I don't understand why he still needs to keep taking his helmet off. That's the question that still has not gotten answered yet because literally the fight just ended and he goes like, I need to see better. Pfft, takes off the helmet. And it's like, dude, what if you just get blown out right now? Like, what if there was a jackal up in the cliffs?
There's just a jackal, and he's like, "Oh, finally!
Yes,
now is my moment."
It's a grunt that takes the kill.
Oh my god! I got the chief. Oh my! It's always a pain whenever you get killed by a grunt. It's always the worst whenever you happen to die to a grunt.
Oh my god!
It's always the
So
worst.
great.
No, but
The other thing, I still haven't seen Master Chief's penis. All right, they teased it in episode 3. They got to show it. You got to do it. All right, that's all I'm saying.
I do
saw Master
like.
Cheeks, but you didn't see the Master Dick.
Confirmed. Does it have a helmet or not?
A little Master Chief helmet.
If I know Chief like I do, no helmet. If it's I killed Bryan. I'm sorry.
Uncut.
This is the real Master Chief. It's the uncut Master Chief. Oh god.
I think it's safe to say that we can
Stay
move on
tuned for
from
issue
here.
95 for Halo Watch.
I just want to know, where did $10 million go?
The pockets of some rich guy now.
No, I'm being serious. Like,
Yeah.
was it?
I'm being serious too.
Did you see $10 million on the screen? Because I
No.
didn't.
It doesn't matter.
Honestly, I want to watch this. I want to watch this. Was it?
You want to rewatch Halo?
No, I want to rewatch this episode and just have it like.
No, you don't. No, you
like
don't.
The Price
You're
is
gonna-
Right.
No, you
Just
don't.
do a
You're
drinking
gonna,
game.
You're
No, I
gonna rewatch this episode and be like, Brian, why are you making me watch this crap?
No. I just want to have it. I want to watch it, and then for every single effect, I want to have the price tag, like on the screen of $30 million.
$10 for the suit, $5 for this plastic
I
needler.
really want
$1,000 every time he takes off his helmet.
I really want to know because also I don't get Chief because Chief is supposed to be your main character, but he's also such a moron, and he's kind of a dick.
The only redeemable 20 seconds of Master Chief were at the beginning when he has no lines of dialogue and Cortana is going at like back and forth with him.
Oh, and he's just staying quiet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the best 20 seconds of Master
Yeah,
Chief I've seen in the
just-
entire series.
Just sit
That was
there and
actually
look
pretty good. Yeah, I was actually thinking about it. I'm like, how come they're just not doing this?
Why didn't we just get this?
Yeah.
That's all.
Like, he's just sitting there looking pretty, and that's fine. Do that.
That's all we like. It's just look, Master Chief, aesthetically pleasing.
But
Okay.
it sucks though that like every time he
90%
has the helmet on, they do the Iron Man thing where it's like he's talking inside of his helmet, and I'm just like,
No one
why?
cares.
Why?
No one
That's
cares.
just an extra
it's a
finger
con-
to you. Just like, oh, he has his helmet on, but guess what? We're still gonna see his face.
Can we move on?
Can
we move on?
Hold on.
Oh my God,
I
dude.
personally do feel that the idea. At this point, I think it's the actor. I really do.
It kind of does up to this point.
At this point, I really do feel that whoever was like he was doing the scenes with the helmet on, and then somebody was like, "I have no idea what he's talking about. Like I can't feel anything through the suit. I don't know what he's talking about. Just have him take the stupid helmet off.
You made
How
Rene
much
and I
do you
yawn.
think?
This
How
doesn't
much
matter.
could they care?
I don't. That's the question. Or that's the answer. Anyways, Moon Knight. You got 10 minutes.
Oh, that's true.
We do have 10 minutes. So this one is interesting. This one was.
I like
it's-
this episode.
Can we get a quick synopsis?
Yeah, this is called The Tomb. This is when
You got your paranoid day. Look at the camera. Okay.
Stephen was it? So you finally have Stephen Grant and Layla, and they have found Amit's tomb. When getting there, they actually Hayward's group gets there at the same time.
Yes.
They have to fight them off.
Steven and what's her name?
Layla.
Layla did share a kiss.
They do, which is actually
Mark?
I was
Not behind Mark's back.
behind Mark's back, and then as soon as he
Bastard.
It's really funny too because I really do love the idea of he gives her the kiss, Layla turns around and then immediately Mark punches Steven.
Does like a quick transition and just boom. It's just like, ah. And
Yeah,
Steven's
he
like,
takes over his hand.
You
and
kissed my wife. Wait, how does that work?
It kind of reminded me of Me, Myself, and Irene
yes.
when like Hank and what was it?
Hank and
when Hank and him just keep on
Yeah.
trading spot. Like I love when they when he keeps on trying to throw him out of the car.
yeah.
When he goes like, "Sayonara, see you later, buddy," and he throws him out of the car, and then he's rolling, and the car keeps on going down, and he runs up, and he goes, What are you doing here?
That was such great. Again, another reason why Jim Carrey's just like a comedic genius.
It's so great because he gets inside, like just looking behind him, just like I finally got rid of him, and then he looks in the
fight between them when he like spits in his face.
Yeah.
Nick Cage kind of does that.
He does.
Yeah, in the Unbearable Weight movie. Yeah.
But we're not talking about.
No, we're
that
done
now.
with
We're
that.
talking
We're done
about
with that.
Moon Knight.
But yeah, so Moon Knight. So they end up going through very Indiana Jones-esque. It's very much an Indiana Jones.
That's why I like it. It's very adventure-y.
Yeah, it's an adventure. It's a tomb. Like they're going through a tomb. Mm-hmm. It's a lost tomb of Amet. They're not entirely too sure whose tomb it is. As they're going through, you can kind of see Steven's proficiency with Egyptian mythology.
Yeah,
because he's kind of going through this tomb very easily.
Yeah. He knows a lot.
He knows a lot. It's helping them get through it. Mm-hmm. Eventually, they end up getting separated. He ends up finding out that this is the tomb of Alexander the Great. Mm-hmm. Alexander the Great was the past reincarnation of Amet.
The last Avatar.
Yeah, the last Avatar, and from there, Layla ends up finding out that Mark was one of the mercenaries that murdered her dad. That ends up turning into an altercation. Mm-hmm. Once they get the actual Amet statue, kind of like how Khonshu was in the previous episode, the Hayward is there. They surround Steven. Steven ends up getting shot, and he ends up dying. He ends up falling into water and sinking into kind of like this purgatory-esque. It's weird because it's kind of like a sunken place. Like it very much looked like Get Out, where he's just kind of falling into the sunken place. Then he wakes up in a mental hospital.
Yeah,
and you see all the characters from where we've been.
Not just the characters. You see the little items and stuff.
Yeah, you see like items, you see characters. You it's supposed to make you question whether the reality that we've been seeing for the past couple episodes is really the reality that we have. You end up seeing that Hayward is the doctor that's on staff. Mm-hmm. Mark is able to kind of escape, even though he's drugged, and he ends up finding Steven inside of it. They're able to kind of like bond. It's fun. It's the first time they're actually getting to touch and be in the same room together. And they do see a third sarcophagus that they don't open. They then go and they do see, they open up the doors, and there is a hippo deity that is standing there that does wish them hello. And then the episode ends
screaming hysterically.
And the episode ends with them screaming hysterically.
Is it Twat or something? Or what's her name?
He's looking up right now.
Okay.
But overall, I thoroughly did like this episode. Because it made you still excited and very into the story without seeing the powers of Moon Knight. Mm-hmm. Because you would think that, he lost the suit or the ability to turn into the Moon Knight Guardian. You would think, well, it's not going to be a good episode because there's no action.
Yeah.
But that's not the case in this episode. It's still very, very, very much kept me going, and then from beginning to end, and loving the ending. I just love how they decided to end the episode, just
like that, right?
Just like that, because I'm like, oh, cool, all right. So I feel like now these last two episodes should be, this is it.
So, before I say my point, Nick.
So really quick, the name is Twart.
Twart?
Yeah, Twart. It's pronounced in a couple of different ways, but one way of saying it is Twart.
Okay, so she was actually teased at the beginning of the series in a plushie form.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
she is.
She
she's in the first episode when she has like all the plushies and she's moving it over.
Yeah.
I was also noticing too. I saw it on a YouTuber had pointed it out that she is actually up on the wall when they put Khonshu on the wall.
Mm-hmm. You can say who the YouTuber is.
Huh?
Do you want to say who the YouTuber is?
Yeah, it was New Rockstars. New Rockstars saw they saw it and they were like, Twat's on the wall.
So she could be one of those incarcerated
she
deities.
Could be.
Yeah, which brings to mind the God Butcher as well, probably enslaving all the gods and keeping them as trophies and stuff.
Yeah, or imprisoning them or doing whatever. Yeah.
So,
but it is interesting to kind of see that instead of them being imprisoned, it's more of them being trapped in purgatory.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a form of killing them, really, because you can't really kill a god,
Mhm.
but you can keep them in the worlds between
So that's why
life and death.
that's why I'm thinking they're gonna try to break out Khonshu in the next episode.
I feel like that's the only way,
Mm-hmm.
but I also feel like what they're also going to do is release all of the gods.
Oh.
Because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them that are trapped, and I'm pretty sure they're all pissed.
That's probably the only way to break out Khonshu is just break them all out.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
could be,
not only that, but also if I break out one, what says that the others can't follow behind
Yes,
or anything else. So I think that's going to be kind of interesting. I am interested because I have a feeling next episode we're finally going to meet the third persona of Mark. Of Steven.
Yeah.
And that's or Moon Knight. Moon Knight's what was it? His third personality, and I'm feeling he's going to be the more brutal one.
Yeah, because there's a lot of theories that say that he was the one that killed
The kids.
yeah, the kids, and then also the father.
Yes.
Yeah, because they think because Mark obviously is aware. I feel like Mark is aware of this third persona and knows the limits of this one, which is why he can't.
I feel like he doesn't though.
I feel like he does because the way he was trying to explain it to what's her name? Layla. I want to say Elena. I don't know why. To the way he's trying to talk about it with Layla, I feel like he can't. He doesn't know it wasn't him, but he feels like he knows he wouldn't do that. So that's why I'm thinking he knows there is a third persona, but just doesn't know.
Or he contributes the blackout to death, to him being shot.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I mean, it's one of those things of it could be because I'm thinking that when he got shot, that's when the third persona was formed. Of he needed somebody that was ruthless that could survive. And then that's the person that helped him kind of get to safety. And then as he was dying, that's when Khonshu came to him.
Yeah.
I will say that I've noticed a pattern here. Can you minimize so I can see real quick? Because I think we're running out of time. I think we have like 3 minutes left. Yeah, we have like 3 minutes left. So I will say this. I've noticed a pattern, and the director did an interview with IGN that explained as to why I am following this pattern. Because it makes sense. I didn't like episode 1, but I liked episode 2. I didn't like episode 3, but I liked episode 4. There's a reason for it. So according to what the director was saying is that they structured the series to have 1 and 2 be feeling like it's a movie and 2 and 4 feel like it's a whole movie. So episodes 4 and 5 are going to be its own separate storyline that'll make it feel like its own separate movie as well. And it's interesting because I did argue that episode 1 felt unfinished and that it felt like it was lacking of some stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing with episode 3. I felt like there was certain things that were missing and that I wish I could find out more about. Episode 4 was enjoyable because we did get a lot of things wrapped up well, and you know.
Well, that's the thing. We reached the arc between at least 3 and 4 now.
Exactly.
That this is the end of the arc. Yeah.
I did mention this while watching Halo with John, was that the reason Moon Knight works and Halo doesn't is because Halo will give you 5 questions, answer 1, and give you 5 more. And that's with every single episode.
Yeah.
It does not finish its plot. Moon Knight will give you 5 questions at the end of one episode, answer 3 the next, and then, or no, give you 5, answer them, and then give you 5 more at the end of the second episode that you'll know you'll get an answer to.
Yeah.
It kind of relieves that pressure of mystery, but it still gives you more for you to come back, right?
Right.
So can we say that we safely enjoy Moon Knight? And I feel like people are being a little tough on it, and I understand why. The story isn't as smoothly crafted as some other ones like Loki. It doesn't have that hook.
It doesn't. It's not. It's.
I feel like the story is not meant. The way they wrote the story is not meant to be episodic.
No.
I feel like this is a show that is better binged than it is watched week to week.
Yes, it's definitely one of those shows.
I feel because I do feel that it's kind of like Daredevil season 2.
Yeah.
Where, you know, if I were to watch Daredevil season 2,
I kind of skipped Daredevil season 2, honestly.
Or well, I mean, just in general, Daredevil. If I were to go week to week with Daredevil, you might not be as excited for it. Whereas if I went with me getting the whole season and rushing through it, it was amazing. Which honestly, if that was the case, I honestly would have been okay if they would have just been it's 3 episodes and each one are an hour and a half long.
Yeah, that makes sense because Daredevil season 2 essentially has 2 arcs, and they start out simultaneously, but then it kind of goes, we're going to talk more about Punisher.
Yes.
And then when the trial happens with the Punisher and stuff like that, when that arc ends, then it's like, oh, okay, well, we got the Hand next. We got to worry about the Hand.
Yeah, because then the Defenders are coming up.
Yeah. So.
But that's what I mean though, is that that wouldn't have worked as a week to week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think that if anything, they should have just, like I said, cut them into 3, made them an hour and a half, or an hour, because I think they're only like 30 to 45 minute episodes. Give or take.
Yeah, they're like close
Like
to 45,
30.
like right under 45. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're like 30 to 40. But I do think that if they would have just done that, I feel like the pacing of it would have been really good.
yeah.
And you would have had complete stories by the end of it, and then you would have been like, oh, I can't wait to watch this.
So I feel like that answers a question that one of our listeners put on the comments on YouTube. Ernie, he was the one that commented on it. He went full on ham on Moon Knight, saying that he does not like the series and whatnot. Right?
It's okay to be wrong.
So
but okay.
you know what? I told him, I'm like, I mean, you're
That's your
nitpicking
opinion.
you're nitpicking, but it's not a statement. It's an opinion.
That's the thing
of what you're saying,
and,
right?
and what he's saying, it's not like I totally disagree with. I see where he's coming from, honestly.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But again, that's an opinion of your personal choice. Like, it's you saying that you do not like this show.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when he went a little too far saying that, Loki and, WandaVision and all these other Marvel shows weren't well crafted, like, factually speaking, these series are crafted pretty well. They could be better, but they're short form series for a streaming service.
I think the weakest Marvel show would have to be, as of recently, is Hawkeye.
Really?
Yes.
Crafted as a story wise, though. That's the
I
thing.
enjoy Hawkeye.
It was fun.
You
No,
can enjoy it, but it's the weakest one.
It is.
I feel that Hawkeye is comparably the weakest one because it's the smaller story.
No. That's the thing, is that with Hawkeye, it tried to be like how WandaVision was, where it was heavily relying on fan theories.
Yeah.
Where WandaVision succeeded, it did well on that, and they tried to do that again with Hawkeye, with Kingpin and Ronin, and trying to be like, okay, well, we're gonna bring in also Black Widow's sister and stuff like that, where a lot of fans were thinking that, like, oh, well, this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen.
So WandaVision and Loki were fan theories, and it's the mystery that kept you coming back. Hawkeye had a good hook, and it kept delivering up until the end, because the end was the weakest part for me.
Really?
It just didn't. Yeah, it didn't round out well enough. It just kind of like fan serviced everything, and just kind of gave like the general conclusion of like, if we all work together, things will work better. And Hawkeye had too much build up, where it was just kind of like, can we get to the point already? The end was much better crafted.
And plus the ending of Hawkeye left it open to like, oh, well, we're gonna leave the story open, where it's like, because they're not gonna do another season of that.
Yeah,
they're not. They said it.
Because I imagine that you won't see Kate Bishop until some future Avengers and or Secret Avengers or Young Avengers team up, or
you have to
whatever.
speak up and speak quickly, Nick, because we're running out of time.
Okay, so anyway, I think that what we're going to see, I mean, there's a lot of like Marvel shows that I feel would do better as I'm going to give you the whole series as one whole and just let you binge it, because I do feel that they don't put up week to week. Like they just don't muster up week to week.
Yeah.
Like they're okay. But once you watch the whole thing completely, then it's really good.
Yeah.
But I have to have filler here. I have to have a filler here, and I have to have filler here.
Yeah.
At that point, I might as well have just released those episodes, so that way you could have gotten to the plot.
Yeah.
And that's what made, like I said, that's what made Daredevil really good. That's made Luke Cage really good. Even Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
That's what
'cause
made
you can
those
just watch
shows.
all those at once.
Yeah, and it was a lot of television at the time, because they were all hour-long TV shows. But the greatest part about that was that you began and then you ended and you were done.
I've noticed that you purposely don't look at the monitor as we get closer to the end of the show, because you do this. You're talking like this at the beginning of the show, and then as the show progresses, you move away, and you're just like, I'm not going to pay attention to the time to make it difficult for Bryan. Then I'm the asshole that's the end of the show. Nick?
I feel like that's not true, but
Also,
maybe
we had-
subconsciously. Yeah.
Also, we had an extra 10 minutes.
No, we have an extra 5.
10 because we also cut.
No, that was an added 1 minute. Stop arguing me, okay? Why do you make my life difficult? God, Nick.
Name check. Name check.
What?
I want to be name checked. That's all.
Oh, God. Thank you guys for joining us this issue. this issue, Keeping Up with the Nerds. Just a reminder, guys, go check out keepingupwiththenerds.com for all the up-to-date information. Our Real Addiction will be releasing their podcast anywhere you listen to your audio, your audio platform of choice. They'll be talking about quite a few things. I think they'll be talking about the Netflix stuff that's been going on, Netflix news. So that's going to be an interesting topic. So Our Real Addiction on keepingupwiththenerds.com and anywhere you guys listen to your podcasts. Follow us on YouTube as well. Keeping Up with the Nerds. We're almost at 100, like we said at the beginning. We want to get there, guys. Stop making us look at those 2 9s because it's annoying. And follow us on our socials. Keeping Up with the Nerds. We will be updating some things quite soon, within the next couple of weeks, because we are hitting year 2. So stay tuned because there are some big changes coming around. Any other points that I missed?
Nope.
We good? Are you sad, Nick? Are you sad? Are you tired? You want me to finish this?
The beer kind of.
Oh,
calmed down.
God. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and wrap up this issue. Are we ready?
Yes.
This has been Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 95. My name is Bryan.
Rene.
Recording at Undercity Comics in Whittier, California. We want to thank everyone for listening to this issue and hope to see you all next time.